Good morning, I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage, and I want to welcome you to today's presentation, which I have entitled, What Will Happen Next? Well, I think first of all, that's a great question, what will happen next? The big question that a lot of people are facing right now is, can we stay ahead of the curve? Can you stay ahead of the curve of rising costs with inflation? And, despite the government's intervention, and I think they've done, to some extent what they can, but they're also spending a lot of money as usual. But nonetheless, despite the government intervention, we still have 4 to 5% annual inflation. And that's a lot better than 15 to 20%, of course. But the reality is, I hear the headlines, well, inflation is down. Well, yes, but we still have inflation at 4 to 5%. And I expect that we will going forward for a while. So the big question is what to do. I think number one, the first thing you should consider is measuring your results. Not necessarily just against other operations, but compared to where you've been historically. Either you or someone else that you hire needs to do that. I do this for all my clients every month, and I think it's a fabulous tool, and it's made an immense difference in their cost controls and actually the identification of new revenue sources too, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But going back to the measurements, as I've said many times on these videos, that if you've been listening, if we measure something like cash flow, we can understand it. If we understand it, we can control it. If we can control it, then we can improve it. So I guess the big question again is, are your costs reasonable? Are they reasonable versus the industry? And I think we need to be careful of that, because if you're a dairy operation milking 200 cows, you're not going to have the cost advantages as much of a facility who operates 800 cows or 3,000 cows, even more so. So I think it's important you look against the industry, do comparisons for your revenue and expenses, but you could also do it on a per hundredweight basis, and that's a little bit more of a level playing field. But I think additionally, I encourage people to look at how they did now, how they're doing now versus say a year ago. Historically, how are you doing compared to history? Your history specifically. So big concern I hear from people, is this all about cost cutting? And the answer to that is no, absolutely not. You just do the best that you can and make improvements, where you're able to. Because I think one of the things we face, as I mentioned earlier, limitations with facilities or acreage. Some of my clients have run into this same obstacle. They have limited acreage, and at 20, 30,000 an acre in California, it's hard to buy additional land if you can even find it. So one of the things, the alternatives I've had them look at is, how about adding additional revenue sources? Here's some examples. I have clients with all of the following, and this is a long list, so bear with me, but solar, methane digesters producing electricity that they sell, and some with methane that they're selling to be scrubbed, colostrum sales, beef cross calf sales. Those are huge right now at $1,650 a head, $1,500. That's big. Selling extra replacement heifers. There's a big market for that, and the prices are quite high. Selling extra corn silage or wheat silage if you've got the additional amounts that are harvested. Almond operations. Other tree crops like pistachios, have some clients with those. Vineyards, I have one client I had two clients. One has sold, but at a really nice price. But the vineyards are another opportunity. And then I even have a client that runs some commercial rental space. And that's totally off the wall for my clientele. But you know what? It's another revenue source. My point is this, and I'll summarize by saying, don't sleepwalk through this. There are many opportunities out there to either cut costs or add additional revenue sources. So study them and choose the best one for you. Everybody's operation is a little different, and if you need some help, contact me. I've got lots of experience with these clients doing these 10 or 12 different additional revenue sources. And so I would leave it with this. Please remember, and I quote George Bernard Shaw when I say this, and I quote, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up, look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they make them. End of quote. I think that's a great thought to end on, and I want to thank you for listening. Again, I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. Thank you very much.